I want to make a quick video to talk to you guys about what happened yesterday. And Tamara and Chris, they got sentenced. And if you don't know who Tamara and Chris are, they are the organizers of the Freedom Convoy. Arguably the most successful protest in Canadian history, at least the 30 to 40 years. There is no protest that has been that successful. But there is two different views of this protest. You have pretty much the whole news media of Canada is basically saying bad. These people are bad. What they did was bad. The laws were changing before they came. They didn't need to do it. Their trucks were loud. That is the narrative of the mainstream news and most of the people that live downtown because it was inconvenient. And the other side is that they're Canadian heroes. And for me, they're Canadian heroes, and I'll tell you why. When COVID was coming, it seemed like I was alone. We were alone as a family. I'm not vaccinated. And they were really, really pushing to make sure that I felt and that I was not quite as important as someone else. And basically someone else that's vaccinated. There was lots of people saying that you shouldn't have health care. Jimmy Kimmel said, go over there, wheezy and die. It just seems like they were really, really pushing this narrative that there isn't any or very few unvaccinated people, and you need to get out there. And if you want to function in society, if you want to go on a train, if you want to fly, that you need to get vaccinated. So that is what was peddled. And the Freedom Convoy came across Canada. They protested in Ottawa. And shortly after that, the restrictions started to lift. Right when the protest was ending, the news media was saying, oh, they were lifting anyways, trying to minimize what they did. I want to say 5 years later, Chris and Tamara we're still going through the courts. And sentencing was yesterday. So they got like 12 months house arrest, sometimes served. I don't know the whole details, but it's basically about 1 year's house arrest and then some curfew time after that. And to put in context, this protest really was the most successful protest in Canadian history in the last 30 to 40 years. I don't know anyone else will say any other one than that. And when you come up against the government strikes back hard. They were wanting 8 years, and they were using all kinds of weird laws trying to prosecute them together like you would use for an organized crime ring. So they were really, really pushing, but it came down to basically mischief. So we have had the most expensive mischief trial in the history of Canada just to prosecute the organizers of a protest, a very successful protest that made the government look bad. So it's pretty sad. It really is. We're in a sad state, but I wanted to thank Chris and Tamara. Thank you. You gave my family a lot of hope in a time that was really dark, that said we weren't really important. And, sometimes standing up means that you really, really put yourself in harm's way, and you guys have. You guys have been fighting courts. You guys have been traveling across the country because the way the legal system is in most countries is to make sure that the next person, never stands up. And you guys have been great models to show that, when it's right, and when it's time to stand up, you just do. So I want to say thank you to Tamara and Chris for doing all they have and giving my family and me a whole lot of hope. And God bless you.